In his previous position as head of the Catholic Church in Argentina, Pope Francis proposed backing civil unions for same-sex couples. I'm Marcus Mabry for the New York Times. Simon Romero has been reporting the story from Buenos Aires, and he joins me now via Skype. Simon, thanks for being here.
Marcus, good to be here with you.
Did this Pope personally support civil unions, at least when he was head of the church in Argentina?
Well, that's a fascinating question because this was a discussion that was taking place behind closed doors at a meeting of bishops here in Argentina back in 2010. And it really does seem like he staked out a pragmatist position on this issue, especially in relation to some of the other bishops at that meeting. A more conservative faction eventually prevailed in that bishops' conference here in Argentina, and his position was not accepted. Yeah, it was just fascinating to hear how all of this played out here.
And of course, this was against what was happening in the country was that it was moving toward same-sex marriage. And so this would have been a compromise position, as it were. What does the history tell us, if anything, about what Pope Francis will do?
Well, gosh, I mean, it's just, if we can go by his past record here in Argentina, he's really someone who is incredibly open to dialogue, to hearing all of the different voices on a given subject. And the debate that was taking place here in Argentina back in 2010 was a vibrant debate, and of course the country's Senate ended up approving the measure, and it was passed into law. Argentina became the first country in Latin America to approve same-sex marriage. It was a groundbreaking position that the country took, and it's being now emulated in other parts of the region, which is really interesting. But, I spoke to one gay rights activist who is also a theologian here in Argentina. He sent Pope Francis a letter, a very critical letter explaining his position on the issue. And he got a call back within an hour from Francis, to his great surprise. And they discussed in detail the position. And he said that the Pope listened to him with a lot of respect.
We should say, of course, Simon, that the then Cardinal was very adamant, and his language was very strong when he condemned the country for allowing same-sex marriage to occur, where he said it was actually an act against God's plan that had happened. This doesn't change that history, of course, but as you said, it suggests kind of his role as a pragmatist politically. A final question, Simon, and you have no way of knowing the answer to this probably, but do we think that his fellow cardinals, if they would have known about this history, that his fellow cardinals would have picked him to be the next pope?
Oh gosh, I mean, boy, that's like a practice in Kremlinology, almost, trying to get inside the Vatican to determine, what information they might have and how they carry out their election. So that's something I really don't know, but it does seem like he's taking out a different management style, at the very least, a different type of strategy of leading that he honed here in Argentina that he may take to Rome. At the very least, that looks like what's happening.
Excellent. Thanks so much for joining us.
Sure, Marcus, you bet.
That's all for now. I'm Marcus Mabry for the